this is going to be a little bit different than my normal videos. The title is not clickbait. I did get stuck, very stuck in fact. But what I wanted to do is turn this into a teachable moment. These trail rides, they're a lot of fun, and a lot of people do similar videos, much higher quality than mine. But sometimes when things go wrong, that makes for a much more interesting video, my opinion. The events that led up to this, I think, are important. And when you off-road by yourself, you do have to maintain discipline and really kind of look at things from a point of view of what is going to be the least risky behavior. So I wanted to walk you through the different challenges I had up to and including when I get stuck, to sort of give an idea of what you might go through if you're off-roading by yourself. You don't necessarily have to do anything wrong. Sometimes things just happen, but it's important to understand your own process. And I figured I'd do this reaction video, or really just reaction audio, to what or how my day was going until I got stuck. So here we are returning into sort of where this ride really begins. And I'm going to refer to these as water features or water holes. I tend to go back and forth, but this is all about water, actually. So we're going through the first one here, and there's a second one, and this is pretty easy going right now. You're always assessing which is the best route to take through these different challenges along the trail, and just through experience you'll assess them. Water is one of the hardest things to assess, though, because generally you can't see you can't see what's under the water, and even if you could, because of how physics works, judging what's under there wouldn't be accurate anyway. So it is one of the harder things you have to deal with. But so far, what I'm dealing with is not a big deal. You see that I'm going to tend to favor going to one side or the other. I'm just trying to essentially keep wheels on dry trail as much as possible. And when I can't do that, as you're starting to see here, I'm trying to assess the safest way forward. It's going to be more obvious in some cases it may not be. And regardless of what you think, like I said, you could still be wrong. And that's when you find yourself stuck. Those last two were pretty easy to judge, but now we're getting to one where I had to stop. Got a tree down on the right-hand side. This water is across the entire trail, and it's also pretty far away. It's hard to tell in the video, but there's a good bit of distance forward as well. This is a bad combination, but what I'm trying to do here is see how I can go around it. So this trail that you're looking at right now, far too narrow for me. I'm in a Bronco. It's a Badlands trim. Got the Sasquatch package and a lot of the other things like the lockers and the disconnect. So it's a capable vehicle, but capable or not, it doesn't matter. I can't get down that go around. So the right side's out. Backing up, reassessing. I absolutely do not want to go through the center of this. Things tend to be deeper in the center. It's not always true. In fact, it wasn't true on this ride in a couple of places. But I'm just taking a moment to see and assess, because ultimately I may have to turn around. And in fact, to give you the TLDR, along this first or maybe second part of this ride, I really should have turned around in retrospect. You'll see here that I'm looking to the left and moving to the left, and that's because I realized that this go around here would get me through, all the way through, to the other side of this hole. Additionally, if I got stuck, there was plenty of trees right there in the vicinity that I could hook up to and effect a recovery. So we're continuing forward after that. So far, I'm still feeling like this is not a big deal. Certainly a challenge. Anytime you have to stop and assess things, you know, you're doing it for a reason, right? So that's okay. Doesn't mean you turn around as soon as you have a challenge, because getting through these challenges is half the enjoyment of this. At least for me, it is. Going through a couple of things here, not a big deal. It's kind of rutted, but again, that's just part of being out here on these trails. You're going to deal with ruts and bounce around a bit, but that's fine. So far, getting around these or going through them, it's in terms of how I'm feeling afterwards, you'll see the water's not really coming up. They are deeper than they look, but we're not really taking on a lot of water as we're going through them. This next hole is interesting though. We're gonna see it again, especially the left side of it. But you see here, I'm doing a very quick assessment and then moving forward, okay? And it was the right call. A little bit of a splash up. Again, these are deeper than they look on camera, but pretty much going right through it. You didn't see a sudden dip down or anything like that. But the other side, later on, you'll see it's not the case. Coming up on the end of what I would consider the first section of this ride, and didn't really register with me at the time because was able to get through it. But this next section, if those holes didn't make me turn around that first section, there's a couple of things here that should have given me a little bit more pause. And again, not necessarily because I couldn't make it through, because ultimately I did, but because when you're out by yourself, sometimes it's just not worth it. The ambition is not worth the risk. Here I'm looking at not only the first water feature, but I'm looking at the second one, because I'm trying to assess, even if I get through this first one, can I get through the second one? And if I can't, can I turn around? And also, the clicking you're hearing, this is a manual as well, so you're hearing me shift the gears as well. All right, so we got through those two, and now we're coming up on another one here. This one was interesting, and I'll explain why. You'll notice to the right there, those trees are darker on the bottom. If you missed it, it's coming up again in a second. As I'm looking left here, same thing. You can see the water line on the trees. The thing that's confusing about this is on this side, you see just a little bit of the dark. Okay, not much. So it hasn't dried up yet, but you can see that, basically the water line, where the water line was at its highest point. Not that much there. But as I come back to the right to see what's going on, you'll see that these trees, that darker area is much higher, which means the water was higher on the right side here. So my assessment was, well, the left side is likely to be a little bit deeper than the right side, because all things being equal, if we assume the water receded at the same amount, well, there's more water still on the left side than the right side. And we're seeing that water line, which hasn't dried up yet, revealing sort of the cant of the terrain. So ultimately, I go to the right, and you see that I really didn't even dip that much. So there, wasn't that much, wasn't any holes under there either. Same thing here. It's a little bit drier to the right and left, which sort of confirms what I just said. And we continue on. Still, though, these are pretty wide water holes, and that's not the typical thing that I like to deal with. Wide and long is really something that you want to avoid, but I didn't turn around. I just kept pushing. You'll hear some beeps from my phone there. It's probably trying to find the GPS. I'm tracking towards a area I had marked on the map. So that's what you're hearing. It's trying to guide me towards that. No big deal here. It wasn't about being high centered or anything. I'm just going slow. Looking at, why is the phone beeping? Did I take this wrong turn or whatever? But no big deal. It wasn't like I thought I was going to be high centered or anything. Just a bit of a pause and going slow, which of course is what you do when you're off-roading anyway, generally speaking. So now we're coming up to the main event here. This is where I get stuck. This is interesting. Little small hole right here, pretty large hole coming up. Go around to the left, but looking at this, it doesn't look that deep. So I go in. And they don't come out. Well, what happened? Got a little bit of steam coming off the hood here. You saw that splash. We went in. We dipped down. So we clearly went into something. And now what you're hearing me doing as I shift back and forth and I'm moving the wheel back and forth, I'm trying to figure out what just happened, because what we've been dealing with thus far have been much wider and much longer water features, and this just wasn't immediately making sense to me. Clearly, I went deeper than I thought, because you're seeing the smoke rise off the hood, and that means some of the water got onto the hotter engine parts. Rocking it back and forth. Bronco's not happy right now. And, yeah, not moving. A lot of shaking though. Those beeps are, those beeps are just various alarms going off in the Bronco. It's not shutting off or anything. It's just telling you, this disengaged or this slipped or whatever. I can't remember all the alerts, but nothing critical there. That's me looking out to accepting the fact that I have to get out and recover.
Well, first time getting stuck. Took a bad line here, and well, self-explanatory. So this is a manual winch time, and yep, we'll see. Just need to pull up. It's suctioned, so just need to break the suction, and then it should be able to get it back out. I've got front locker, so lock it all up and then pull it out, and then drive it out. Just got to get it about a foot. So here we go.
Yeah, but no. So it was maybe suctioned, but as you'll see, it was more than suctioned. We were definitely in a hole. And whether I took a bad line or not, again, you can't see under the water. So this was a bad day waiting. To make matters worse, my manual recovery system didn't work, so I had to be recovered.
You ready?
Yes.
Ready!
All right. It's going to be a tug. Keith,
Ready?
it's going to be a tug.
Okay, I'm in neutral.
He's in neutral.
Come. You move it all?
No, he's not moving at all.
No. But that, do it. Tug, tell him to stay. And
Stay?
give it some power.
He's going to give us some power as you pull. Oh, wait. Let me move that rope. Let me move that line.
I would suggest Keith get in first gear because you started coming up out of the rut, and if you start rolling, you're going to be out. That last pull was like perfect, but if Keith, you're in first gear, you just start letting it out as he pulls, you're going to be right out there, okay?
Did Keith hear that?
Keith, did you hear that?
Copy off. He did copy off.
Yes.
You ready? Yeah?
Yes. Go. Good.
There we go.
Yeah, so clearly I was in a pretty deep hole there. But what's interesting about this is that wasn't the only time I got stuck. Remember I said we're going to revisit that hole that was deeper on the left? Well, this is it.
Here we go.
Tell him when to give it gas.
Just go ahead, Gus, go. Go.
Gas.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Good.
Good.
Oh.
So that hole was actually deeper than the hole I was initially stuck in. I actually had water coming in because of this one. Really bad situation there. And I don't know why I went to the right instead of going to what would have been a left exiting, but I got stuck again. Fun times, I guess, but thanks to the guys from Tri-State Broncos, they happened to be still out in the forest the same time I was. They were wrapping up their day, and a couple of dirt bikers that I'd asked to check on me while I was trying to do my manual recovery with my old manual system. I asked them to check on me, and they did, and they were able to find those guys for me. So it's a testament to the off-road community. Um, I I've never been happy to be a part of the community because, you know, helping people out when they get in a jam is part of it. So that was great. Um, as far as the day and this trip, I think I should have turned around. Plenty of evidence for me that I should have done that. It would have been the safest thing to do. But I continued forward, and because of that, it it exposed the next issue, which was my manual recovery system. That system had not been tested as well as it should have, and as a result, I ended up building a new system. I'm going to show that in an upcoming video. It's actually the next video I'm going to be working on. I'm not sure how YouTube is going to present that, but if you're interested, you can search my timeline for it. But I built a proper recovery system. The video is going to show that. It's going to show me testing it, and I'm much more confident now about having to use that system if I do get stuck again. But if you watched this far, thanks for watching. I hope this was interesting, and stay safe out there. Enjoy the trails. I'll see you next time.